Hi everyone, this is volume word problems. We are looking at level 2 word problems, page 156 of your workbook, question 2. Right, let's start. We are using the strategies of race, and by now, before we begin, there are some tips that we have been practicing already. So for volume question, when you see a tank like that, a few things that we have been practicing, asking ourselves if you are uh, looking at a picture like that, the few things we can ask ourselves already to pay attention to. Sorry, let me just erase this. Length, base, and height. Okay, L, B, and H. Length, base, and height. So these are the things that we have been practicing to in class to get ourselves to pay attention to even before we start reading the question. Okay, and we've been practicing also using the 3 highlighters, one color for one dimension, man measurement, length, breadth, and height. Okay, so the next one is also to ask ourselves, we noticed about in tanks, and right now the learning objective of volumes of liquids, okay, in terms of tanks, converting from cubic units, cubic centimeters to liters and milliliters. So the key idea in solving questions as such is got to do with change in height. And we talk about change in height, it refers to water level. That's what we are talking about. And previously we also mentioned why is it we focus on height and change in water level is because the tank's base area is not changing. So base area means, in other words, length and breadth. Okay, so length and breadth not changing, so length times breadth is the base area. So we don't have to worry so much about the 3 dimensions. The height is the key dimension we have to focus on, okay, in questions like this. Okay, now looking at that was a quick recap of the strategies for solving word problems in regards to tanks and water and filling tanks up. Okay, we need to keep in mind these strategies. We'll be looking at the same strategy in a later chapter, okay, in the later semester called rate. Okay. Okay, so let's read the question. An empty tank, an empty rectangular tank, was 20 centimeters long, 23 centimeters wide, and 18 centimeters high. Okay, so I have my length, breadth, and height given here. Length, so this is the length, and then wide, this is the breadth, and now we have the height, that is 18 centimeter when it is empty. Oops. When it's empty. Okay, the key story goes here. Ravi filled 5 identical water bottles. That means they are the same water bottles. So this is the 5 bottles filled with water to the brim. So they are completely filled with water. And then he poured all the water from these 5 bottles into the empty tank. Oops, sorry. After pour in, right? So pour into the tank. And because of the water going into the tank, now the tank become 1/3 full. The tank become 1/3 full, meaning all the water in these 5 bottles contributed to the tank becoming 1/3 full. The question, most important question, asks about the capacity of each bottle. Right, okay, so coloring this pink portion here. This is the amount that was filled in. Okay, now let me reduce the number of lines so that it's not confusing. Just this 3. Perhaps you can at next point of time ask me, think about it. Why do I just highlight these sections? Okay, so we are done with the annotations. Let's go to solving the question. The key question is, at first, the height was empty. The empty that means it's 0, right? Because it's empty, nothing's inside. Okay, then after pouring, it's now 1/3 full. So the height becomes 1/3 of the tank's height, right? That's the pink color. This is the one that we're talking about. The height now here after pouring in. Okay, so that's okay. That's 1/3 times 18 centimeter. So that will be 6. 18 divided by 3 is 6 centimeters. So after you pour in, is 6 centimeters. That's the change in height. Okay, so here we have 6 minus 0. So the change in height is 6 centimeters. In other words, I talk about the volume of the water in the tank. And this volume of water came from the 5 bottles when they are full. Okay, 5 full bottles equals to the volume of water in the tank. So I have length times breadth times height. So in this case, you have length is 25 centimeter times the breadth is 23 centimeter times the height. We are talking about this change in height, 6 centimeter. That's the volume of water. You should get a certain amount with cubic centimeters. Now here is asking for the capacity of each bottle. So you have 5 full bottles. We are looking at 1 bottle. So you tell me I'm using this value here to divide by 5. Okay, quick reminder, the answer should be in cubic centimeters. Alright, now the struggle will be resolving all the calculations. Alright, so previously we discussed, okay, maybe here I'm writing it too big. Leave a space, partition will work for some. Leave a space and partition your work for some bookings like long division. Okay, so I could partition my work here with, okay, let's say I use this section, okay, to do workings. So I'll do my workings here, 25 times 23, and then I got the answer, and then from the answer I multiply by 6. Okay, this is for you to find out. Okay, for you to work it out, and the final answer divided by 5 for you to work it out as well. Okay, so here the final answer will be, I have 1 bottle, I need to find 1 bottle, so that's the each. So it will be this amount here divided by 5. Don't forget, it should be in cubic centimeters. Okay, please solve this yourself.